Hello, dear folks. Welcome to the show. Jack Chow here with the East-West show with the G&E TV. About a month ago, we had a discussion with this wonderful individual, this young lady, about the local election, namely running for the position of LA County Supervisor. Now currently she holds the Chief of Staff position in the office of Michael Antonovich for quite some years. Later you will tell me, verify about the age of the office, right? And well, after that show, we received a quite positive response. The response being that, number one, first at my studio, my producer, she's very young, very beautiful. She's not a kind of like a political person, you know. And every time when I talk politics, I said, you understand, you follow? She said, well, I'm okay, like that kind. And it was then, that very day, when we finished, we were wrapped up about the taping, she said, you know what? I like the politics she talked about. This is response number one. Response number two, I received the emails. Say, Jack, we like that lady. Who is she? Like that kind, right? So that's why I've scheduled this wonderful lady, a good friend of mine, Kathleen Bogger, to come here to do one more time to let people know what are local politics. And plus, last time I recall, at the end of our show, we were wrapping up in a little kind of busy style. We left over certain areas, such as transportation, such as the jail release, such as community safety, so on and so forth, right? We were gonna put together one show today to talk about it. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to seriously introduce you a wonderful lady, a good friend of mine, and probably could be a very wonderful leader of the county of LA, Miss Kathleen Bogger, please.
Thank you so much, Jack. It's really a pleasure to be here. And it's interesting because when you tell me that your young producer got excited, it's because I genuinely love what I do. And I had a teacher in college that loved what she was teaching, and as a result, I fell in love with the course. It was geography. And so it really is it makes me happy to know that my message is getting out there, and that this is an important race, but also it impacts everybody, and I want people to get excited. I want people to get out, ask the tough questions, and vote.
And well, thank you for mentioning that. To me, I see all kinds of politicians, right? Older, younger, left or right, so on and so forth.
Middle age.
Yeah, middle age, right?
Yeah.
So it is seldom to come across somebody who stays in the middle, not only age-wise, but partisan-wise, right? And what stays in the middle means to me is that business is business. When you're talking about business, there is no way, no room to talk of partisanship. Okay, we left or we right, no, doesn't make any sense to me, right? Probably that was exactly why my producer started liking you right after the show, followed by lots of positive emails. Probably that's why. You, I recommend, probably want to enlarge it to make people aware of that quality, right? So today I would like to touch base with you one by one, those areas that we left over. How about that?
I would love it. I would love
Sounds
it.
quite a challenge because you know you're not in office yet, and you watch the politics go, right?
Correct.
Well, anyway, so you got to work out your way to the answer of my questions.
You know, I tell people I attack problems, not people. And this seat is not a partisan seat. It's not a Republican or a Democrat seat. And as a result, you have to work with everybody. And you have to represent the people. And partisanship aside, you've got to solve problems.
And also by that, I would have to mention that Michael Antonovich has set a good example.
Absolutely.
I've been watching him for quite some years, ever since I'm on the job for almost 2 decades, right? Well, I don't see a moment that he or his office, neither he or his office, acted on any kind of tilted partisanship basis. So that's not. So if that's a legacy, you want to continue with it?
Absolutely. I tell people I'm going to build on Supervisor Mike Antonivich's legacy, and it really is about constituent service. It's about when people call into our office, they've exhausted all avenues to get their problems solved.
Oh yeah.
And we may not be able to solve it to their satisfaction, because sometimes facts and perception are not always the same. But we do our best to make sure they get answers, and that is a commitment I make moving forward. As his chief of staff for the last 15 years and working in his office for 28, I know what it takes, and there's a reason why the supervisor has been elected every time with solid numbers. It's because the people know that he's representing them, and so I'm going to build on his legacy and strengthen it, and he has been an incredible role model for me.
All right, very good. It sounds to me to choose a right person for a job like a county supervisor is almost like a job to choose an astronaut to go to Mars, something, right? You want this person to be young, active, energetic, so that the mission can last longer. And yet, on the other hand, you want this person old enough, mature enough, during the years of the past has accumulated enough experiences. That means time, and time means age. So these two must meet somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a silver lining there, isn't it?
Absolutely. I tell people I can hit the ground running. I don't need any on-the-job experience. The county is a very complicated maze, and for the last 28 years, I've been navigating that.
Yeah, right.
The 5th District, the people of the 5th District want and expect government to represent them. So come December of 2016, I can hit the ground running. I don't need any on-the-job experience. As we will talk today, I know the issues, and where I don't have answers, I work with people to solve it, because one individual should not and cannot make those decisions. It's about representing the people. And over the last few months, I've put almost 11,000 miles on my car, driving around the county, talking
That's
to
a lot
people.
of driving,
Absolutely.
isn't it?
And when you talk to the people, the issues that I see being important are not necessarily reflective of what you read on the front page of the LA Times. People are about quality of life, about feeling safe in their communities, but they're also about mental health, homeless issues. People are concerned about what's going on in this county. And it's been an eye-opener for me, and it's really, I believe, made me a better candidate, because I'm responding to what their needs are, not to what I want to tell them their needs are. I'm hearing the people out there.
Very good, very good. I would like to hear, if you don't mind, the homeless issue, please, as a start with.
Absolutely. When you talk about the homeless in LA County or even in the United States, there is no one-size-fits-all solution. If that were the case, we wouldn't have a problem. You've got individuals that have severe mental health issues that really don't understand the ramifications of living on the street and are deteriorating even more. So we've got to look at not only just providing them with housing, but providing them with treatment. And many of those individuals that are mentally ill have what they call a dual diagnosis, where they are self-medicating, taking drugs in order to stabilize themselves. So you've got to deal not only with their mental illness, but also with their alcohol and drug addiction.
Yeah, you're right.
And getting them off the street should be our first priority. And whether that be in treatment or in some stable housing, and then we build in the treatment, we need to do that, because our goal and my goal is to make them responsible citizens and get them back on their feet so that we can have a better LA County. And there are those that just check out and don't want any help. They want to live on the streets, leave me alone. I don't think we give up on them. I believe that we continue to go out with teams and develop a relationship and trust and get them off the streets as well.
It is, to me, of course, of extreme significance to talk about the issue at this very moment, because Thanksgiving is coming and Christmas is around the corner. and the weather, of course, is not being always friendly like right now.
Yes.
Right? So we demonstrate with or without the mental problems. Their being on the street is a eyesore at least, right? So how do you compare the way that County of LA is handling their homeless problem as versus the fact that LA City is handling the same problem? And I need, by that I'm trying to be very challenging because you're comparing these two policy by policies.
Yeah, it's about working together. And if you don't work together, not only with LA City, but with all 88 cities in LA County, you're going to have a fragmented system. So it's about communication and working with the different cities. And we're putting together a homeless outreach forum so that we can get a better understanding from the community and really bring them in, bring in the experts to talk to us about what they see. Because again, as county government, we don't have all the answers, but we have the ability to work toward getting the solutions done once we get those issues identified. So we're working with LA City, and we are aggressively looking at how we are going to tackle things like affordable housing. And because it's not just about finding housing, but it's finding stable housing long term. So it's got to be affordable. Here, housing is very expensive.
You're right.
And at the same time, I talk to people that say, well, we shouldn't be giving things away. There are, personal responsibility. And we're going to look at that. We're going to look at how do we make these individuals responsible to society and get back on their feet. But in the interim, we have to provide them with the tools necessary to do that.
And every time when you do analysis of the community, of the homeless community, you really have to pay attention. There are some good elements there. And then I recall last time when I had a conversation on this show with my good friend of Joe Gomez of El Monte. You know him,
Yep,
right?
very well. He used to work in our
Joe
office.
Gomez, yeah, right. He
Absolutely.
used to work in the office. He told me a brand new program of 139 homes built in the city of El Monte for homeless veterans.
Yes.
Okay, that was kind of like what a sweet and sour thing to me. Number one, I'm excited about the program. Number two, I'm so sad about the term homeless veterans. So let's take a short moment now. When we come back, we really have to tackle those little teeny tiny points, pinpoints, to make sure that somebody will make a difference. We need that very somebody. Okay, yes. Slogans are okay. I have no problem with the slogans, but slogans have to be followed by actual maneuver. Call it that way. All right. So we'll be right back, please.